So the digestive system is basically a long tube. So a tube where food goes in one end and then it goes out the other. Along the digestive system, you've got these cells, and these cells are called enterocytes. So enterocytes are linked together like a chain. So they should be nice and tight. In the tips of those enterocytes, you've got what are called villi, and the villi move, and the villi are what release digestive enzymes. So enzymes are basically what break your food down. So when food goes in, it's basically whole, and all these enzymes get released by the villi, and it basically disintegrates. And so then what happens is more absorption of vitamins and minerals. So remembering that this is a very simplified version of the digestive system, it's a lot more complicated than this. So vitamins and minerals will pass through. So that's the normal process of what happens, and the person usually doesn't know that all of that is happening. If you can feel your digestive system's playing up, like you're getting constipated or you're getting bloating or you're getting reflux, it suggests that something here is irritating. So along the digestive tract, you've got this mucosal membrane. So in that mucosal membrane, that's home to trillions of bacteria. So these bacteria play a really big role in keeping the digestive system nice and clean. It's where 80% of your immune system is. They clean out excess estrogens, they control the pH or the balance of acidity in the digestive system. They play a role that stems much beyond the digestive system. So there's a lot of research at the moment, linking different bacteria in the gut and mental health conditions. There's also links between certain bacteria in the gut and autoimmune conditions, and even things like Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid issue. So these bacteria, they really do outnumber the cells in the gut. So the number of bacterial cells in the body compared to human cells, it's pretty huge. So for every one human cell, there are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 bacteria cells to every human cell. So that's a 1 to 10 ratio. It's pretty big, isn't it? So we have to wonder, what's the role of those bacteria? They're really important. They're not just there for decoration and a bit of fermentation. They do a lot more than that. So I'd encourage you, if you've got digestive symptoms, I'd think about what are the bacteria that are there. So in a stool analysis, you're able to actually identify exactly what bacteria are there. Some of them could be causing you to feel bloated. Some of them could be affecting the peristalsis or the movement of the bowels. Some of them could be damaging these little villi, so you're not getting this release of enzymes. The food's not getting broken down properly. Some of them could be causing the little junctions here to pull apart, and so then you're ending up with these little microscopic holes there, which is basically what is referred to as leaky gut or hyperpermeability of the intestinal lining. So what will happen in that case, or what can happen, is that you get tiny fragments of proteins that leak through into the bloodstream. So this shouldn't happen. The proteins should stay in here. When this happens, your white blood cells will come along, or your immune system will come along and mount an immune response. So that can cause inflammation, and the inflammation doesn't necessarily have to stay here. The inflammation can be systemic. So to give you a bit of an idea of kind of how that happens, so if somebody has a peanut allergy, but they're showing the symptoms in their throat and their face, it can actually go over their whole body, and they can end up with hives, or it's happening in the digestive system, but it's going elsewhere because blood doesn't just stay here, and immune response doesn't just stay where it actually happened. It can go elsewhere in the body. So if you're suspecting that there's reactions to food here, it is important to check for any food intolerances and food sensitivities. So we take basically a two-step approach when we're looking at addressing digestive issues. So the first is, what are the bacteria here? Because the bacteria play a really important role in digestive function. And then what foods are possibly causing an immune response to happen? So that would be through food sensitivity or allergy or intolerance testing, which intolerance testing is generally done through breath testing. And then a stool analysis is basically, as it says, stool analysis that tells you everything that's growing there. So parasites, bacteria, yeasts, or funguses. So to correct the digestive system, you need to identify what the problem is, and then basically you work at repairing it. So if it's hyperpermeable, like we do a xylose excretion or an intestinal permeability test, and we find that it's leaky, we need to work at resealing it off, rebuilding those little villi, and then re-establishing all the good bacteria that are there to stop this from happening, and to get that to happen. Your food to be broken down so that you get all the nourishment passing across into your blood, because essentially that's why we eat healthy, is that we want to make sure that we're absorbing the nutrients.